Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and in this video I want to introduce you to Zola Elements chain available at beadaholique.com. I want to show you how to finish the ends with jump rings, so how to cut this particular chain, all these different types, and what jump rings coordinate to them. And then I also want to show you how to make a bracelet using them. So we also have some good inspiration projects as well showing the chain. So this is really gorgeous chain. I'm just going to go quickly over each style here so you can see the options. It's really unique. So this one has these wonderful little colorful focals every 4 links, and then these are wonderful little flat links. And what they do is they flash in the light, which is so nice. This one has a colorful little focal every single bead, every single time I should say. So that's fun for all those links, and they come in a variety of colors as well. So we've got turquoise, we have like a deep red, and a wonderful dark navy blue. Over here is this fun chain that is like multiple bars with these little rondelle beads suspended between them. And this is just fun to play with and touch. That's what we're going to use for our bracelet. This one is very pretty, that wonderful turquoise color. And then this is a fun one. This is a bunch of different bars with really colorful beads on them. And you can just see how they're suspended. So every direction looks really good with this chain. Let me quickly show you some inspiration ideas on how to use this chain. Then I'm going to show you how to cut it and what jump rings go with it. So over here we've used that wonderful turquoise chain. This is a project by our designer Kat. She's actually done it in 2 colorways. So the only difference are these pieces here, which are also by Zola Elements. But she's just used 4 little links on each side, and she could have easily made this design into a necklace as well, just extending it on each side. And all of this chain is sold by the foot. Here I've just used tiny little segments of that wonderful one with the rondelles to make a pair of earrings. And I've done this in silver and gold, and if you look up here you can see how we've added a jump ring to it. So that's going to be what I'm going to show you here in just a moment. I'm going to skip over this because this is going to be our how-to project for the video and go right here where I just used 6 inches of chain on either side, and we were able to create a really nice long necklace with this tassel focal. So we used the red of the tassel to coordinate with the red beads. Okay, let me show you how to cut this chain. So I've got my cutters here. There's just my normal pair of Zuron flush cutters, whatever cutters you like. So if you're looking at this chain, it's got 2 types of links here. So you see it's got the little flat link. Might be easier to pull up this one. So it's got that little flat link, and then it's got the colorful one. Either one can easily attach a jump ring to. If you're going to cut off a link, what you're going to want to do is cut in the middle. And then you can pull it off. You can just pick it off usually, or you can use a pair of chain nose pliers. And what you're trying to do is just expose that loop. And through that loop, you can now put a 22 gauge jump ring. And I'm just going to show for each style because it's important to know how to finish these chains, because you're going to want to be incorporating them into your jewelry designs. You're going to be wanting it to add a clasp. You're going to want to, add an element or embellishment. And so a 22 gauge jump ring very easily fits through that end link. So moving on to this next chain style over here. Again, if you cut it and you for some reason want to cut it, maybe you're making multiple lengths, make sure you're only cutting one side. So again, you preserve an intact link. Now for this one, you can actually have a larger jump ring. So here is again a 4mm jump ring, but this one is a 20 gauge. So this one with that little loop can easily accommodate a 20 gauge. So of course a 22 gauge, 21 gauge would also work for this one. All right, let's move on to this type of chain here. So this one, you see sometimes you might get a length or have a length that has the jump, or the links I should say. They look like jump rings, but the link's already exposed. If that's the case, you can just fit a 22 gauge jump ring through them like you see right here. That's all we did, was we had those exposed links and we fit a 22 gauge jump ring through it. Now, if you have it like this where you don't have those exposed links, what you do is you grab the end bar and you just cut it. So you just want that little knob in the top side of your cutters. Cut. and then pull out this part. And now we've exposed links, which have intact, basically loops, because they're complete links, they're soldered. So now you can just thread a jump ring through them very easily. And you can thread it through both of them if you like, or maybe you're doing a design where you want one on each side, but you would then just take your jump ring and put it through there. And then of course you could put through the other one as well, like you saw in this pair here. This one's really self-explanatory, pretty easy. If you're gonna cut it, just cut that little thin link between the main focals. And then this one here with all these little bars, if you want to cut it, again, just go ahead, grab basically one of those little balls with your cutters, trim it off, and then you can do as many as you want depending on how many links you want exposed. So I'm going to do a couple here. So now you see we have that center core of a nice traditional type chain in there, and that you can also use a 22 gauge jump ring for. And that is what I did. If you come over here and you look at this, I exposed a couple of those links and I went ahead and added a 22 gauge jump ring to it. And then for here I did some pearl knotting and attached a clamshell knot cover to it. So a lot of different options for this chain. I just wanted to show you quickly how you would be able to cut it, how to work with it, to make your life a little bit easier, because it's such beautiful, gorgeous chain. We've been so excited to play with this over at Beadaholique. And one thing I want to show you now is how to make a bracelet. So when I first saw this chain, I was instantly inspired to pair it with these Nunn design ribbon slide ends. So these are like ribbon cord ends, ribbon slide ends. They're referred to by different names, but basically they allow you to use them almost like a strand reducer. We actually use them a lot in loom work too. This is the smallest size, it's 17 millimeters. Then the medium size is 24 millimeters, and the largest size is 33.5 millimeters. And all of these work with all of these chains, which is really fun. Probably with the exception of this one though. But all of these chains over here, and that's what I have here. And they also come in different finishes. So before I begin this project, I want to show you how many lengths of this really cool chain right here with these little rondelles will fit into them. So this one you're going to see in action, but this one, what you're going to do is you're just going to take that end link and slide it in. So we've got two. Just sliding them in one by one. 3. And if you can imagine that we would close at 4. So for the medium size one, which is the 24 millimeters, you can fit 4 lengths of this really neat bar chain in there. Now let's look at the largest one. And of course, you can mix and match chain finishes, and you can mix and match chain styles as well. And these are being held in here very nicely. I'm going to grab another little length of this chain I just had that was extra. It is awful nice that this is sold by the foot, because it gives you a lot to play with. Okay, and then the last one. All right, so this one here will accommodate up to 6 strands of this really cool chain. Okay, let's make our project. Now that we've tackled that, because I thought that might be a question that some people had of what the other sizes accommodated. I've pre-cut 6 inches of each of these chains. So it was 1 foot of each cut in half. And then I'm going to use the 17 millimeter little slide ends. I'm going to use a lobster clasp. I'm going to use this little Zola Elements little like charm, and then I'm going to use some Nunn design chain. And what I like about this chain is the links are actually open, so you can open and close them like a jump ring. So they come closed, but they are open links in that they're not soldered and you can open them. Okay, so to begin, I am going to put the end of my chain, slide it right down in, and then I'm going to grab this pretty chain in blue. Of course, choose whatever color you like if you're doing this at home. I'm going to do 2 lengths of that, And I put this chain in here because I found that 3 lengths of this exact chain was a little tight. It was a little bit hard to close the end cap. So I thought, well, what can I do to make a really interesting focal? And so I thought, well, that blue chain is so pretty. All right, so they're all just in there. I'm going to take this and I'm going to use my pliers to just start to bend it down. And once it's almost all the way bent, there we go. I'm going to flip it upside down and I'm going to press it on my table. And just use my arm pressure. So this is what we've got so far. And they're staying in there. They're not going anywhere. So I'm going to make sure that they're not crisscrossing anywhere. Okay, and now I'm just going to come here and pick these guys up and slide them in here as well. Okay, now I'm going to go do the same thing on this side. I find it easier if you do kind of pre-bend this with your chain nose versus trying to just use your force to do the whole thing. I do find it does work easier. There we go. All right, so this is how this is going to look on my wrist. Just like so. And now we're ready to finish it because we need to now add a clasp. And so I want to have an adjustable clasp, meaning it'll fit a lot of different people and it can be a different length. So this is a little over 6 inches now because it was 6 inches of each of the chains. And so let's do, actually these are open, might as well not waste any. Let's open up a couple for the lobster clasp side. So just like a jump ring. Okay, let's attach this. Let's do the lobster first. And close it back up. Then we're going to go to the other side. This is going to go right there. And then for the other side, let's do a couple inches. Let's do like 2.5 inches. Of course, you can make this, whoops, I keep wanting to cut it. I keep forgetting that I don't need to. You can do it, of course, as long as you want. So you can just have 1 inch or you can have a lot more. Okay, open that up. And onto this one, let's place this pretty little charm. And one more step and our bracelet is done. Okay, attach it to this end. Close it on up. And we are all done. We have a really pretty Zola Elements chain bracelet that uses the Nunn design elements, and you can see how that would look. Now on me this would be a little bit big because I have particularly small wrists, so but you can make it shorter, of course, just by cutting your chain shorter. But this is a quick and easy and a fun bracelet, and I think it's something that everyone would love to even receive as a gift. If you like making jewelry as gifts, this is a great gift idea. So I hope you enjoyed this video on how to cut the different Zola Elements chain, so what size jump ring goes with them, and then how to make this project with them. All of the projects you see here are on the Beadaholique website with full instructions. A lot of them also have videos to accompany them or other information, so please do check that out. And keep checking back at beadaholique.com for other items by Zola Elements.